So the original idea of this project was, came upon when we saw this advertisement on the from the LA Times of Johnny Depp as the Mad Hatter in Alice in Wonderland, and it took up the entire front cover and actually went over a lot of the articles. And so it reminded us, and as actually someone mentioned it in the article, of how internet advertising is like that a lot today, where it jumps out in front of you and covers the material in order to get you to read it or to take notice. So that kind of led into the idea of this whole project, which was reappropriation.
And it also adds to the all-around attitude of our society of how we've come to obviously react to advertisements as being more important than the actual information that we're wanting to look for, because obviously they hold sway and cover anything that we are interested in. So a lot of this project was we were trying to see if we could bring in new forms of advertising into regular everyday situations, or like old forms of media, old forms of communication. So we're just trying to mix things up out there. And also to show a general attitude of what we think is already the attitude of this type of advertising right now, but more to show what the real life attitude of if these situations were to happen to you on the street.
So let's talk about this first scene where we went out with 2 posters, one with this free giveaway and the second one just as the backup, where we actually tell them that they're coming over to look for enhancements. So this was interesting because the original idea was that this reappropriating was similar to electronic advertising that you see, on the highways in Toronto, and where you're reading something and then as soon as you're getting to the point of it, it just switches to another advertisement. So that was the original idea. But then what ended up happening was when everyone came by, it turned into this like fluke where we were just throwing out this ridiculous thing, and that actually paralleled something that we see on the internet, right? So
yeah, well, I also found that even the gimmick of having the free right there in everybody's face didn't really do much. So how much can we really say this is actually doing a lot for the advertising that's put forth to us on the internet?
Well, it was similar to the advertising on the internet, and we wonder how many people can actually click on these things when they're not even willing to stop
and get a physically free laptop when we're advertising it right in their face.
Yeah. And a lot of people came up to us asking if this was something for psychology or some sort of study. They're not stupid.
Yeah.
People aren't stupid. So
why do we keep pushing these things in their face, and then only just to trick them by advertising male enhancement and boob jobs?
So in the end, we got a couple people to come up to us, but no one really bought it. So.
Everybody thought it was a joke, and it just didn't work as well as we thought it would.
Give it a shot.
But that goes to say, how well does this advertising actually work now?
So this next experiment was the idea that when you're on the internet, someone can just come up out of the blue and pretend to be an actual person and try and get you to talk to them on the sidebars, like Lava Life and such. So we just kind of went up to people and joined in on their conversations, see what it is actually like.
See what their reactions were, and in generalness, we were, ready to decide.
They were pissed, so.
Kind of pissed that we were interrupting their in-depth conversations, and pissed that it was some stupid girl.
Well, you just wonder, everything that is done on the internet, the advertising, and just the way people are trying to communicate, whether it's real or even just this fake person that they come in the sidebar, it's all very aggressive and fake, and if you put it in the real world, it doesn't really fit in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then when they have these, pictures of, this perfect type of people that everybody's supposed to epitomize, how real can you expect that to be when it's, obviously photoshopped and obviously, embellished so that it makes everybody else feel bad, so.
This last clip was just something a little different that we wanted to do just breaking the internet down to its most raw components, bringing new media back into an older form, an older state. And it got us thinking actually about net neutrality when we started, going through this process of, looking things up mechanically.
So if the internet were to be put back into a primitive format, obviously net neutrality wouldn't even matter, but we want net neutrality to matter to us. We want net neutrality available and equal, and we want the entire internet to be an equal space that we can all participate in.
Well, exactly, and I mean, if we look at it like the internet in this whole primitive form, it just doesn't really work in the same way, and just the irony of it is that if we go back to this unfair, ruling of different servers and such, then it's going to become this really slow process.
Exactly. We may as well have cardboard computers, and people running to get our information, because that's how slow it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, you wonder if libraries will go back into use, and it's just because of equal rights.